Today's our last year till after Sukkot. We go on break. We meet after the holidays. Everything closes down for the holidays in Israel, right? After the Chagim. So the Shir is later Nishmas, Osher Shmuel Chaim and Ephraim Etziona, Esther Basara, Tzvi Ben Shraga, my dear mother Rivka, Yitzchak Isaac, Tzvi Dov Ben Chaim Pesach, Herbert Sunshine, Yitzchak Ben Sarah, Devorah Bas Yitzchak, Leah Bas Simcha, Avram and Mordechai David, Ruvain Ben Shmuel, Chana Golda Bas Yisrael, Chaim Ben Fega, Yeshua Ben Shmuel, Chanita Bas Moshe David, Osher Ben Bracha, Mata Leah Bas Elio, and Mordechai Netzach Ben Rivka. Leila Nishmatam. Today's we're going to have a class this Sunday the 11th. I think we meet again October 11th. Is that a Sunday? So God willing, we meet again Sunday, October 11th. Sunday, because Yontiv is over when? Wednesday, right? No, Yontiv is over Tuesday night. So we meet, God willing, Sunday, October 11th, correct? God willing, we meet Sunday, October 11th, right here at 2 o'clock. There won't be a Torah tidbits, but we'll be here, God willing, Ezrat Hashem, Sunday, October 11th, 2 p.m. Today's shir is the Scapegoat, So Long Sucker. Very strange service, Dr. Abramson. It looks like voodoo, God forbid. What's it all about? And what are we reading about it? We ain't got no scapegoat today. We ain't got no temple. We know the Torah is not ancient history, surely. The Torah is God's GPS for the year 2015. What's GPS mean? God's personal system. So what are we learning about the scapegoat? What's it all about? What does it mean for us in today's day and age? So please look at source number 1. Please follow me, source number 1. Everybody have a paper, I hope. This is what we read on Yom Kippur morning. Source number 1, Vayikot Hazayin, Umedas Eis Adas B'nei Yisrael Yikchu Shnei Sirei Izim L'chatat. From the Jewish people, take 2 hairy goats for a sin offering. V'ayel echad lo'olah. Okay? Take 2, not only are they goats, they have to be hairy goats. Pasuk Zayin, Seir Esav. Seir Izim, very good. Right? It's a reminder of Esav, the hairy one, right? Pasuk Zayin, V'lokach ha-shnei ha-seirim, v'emen oisam bnei Hashem, petach ha'emad. You take the 2 hairy goats, and you make them stand when they're still alive in front of what? The door of the tent of meeting in the Mishkan. Pasuk Chet, V'nosan Aaron ha-shnei ha-seirim gorolot. Aaron shall do the gorol. I think it's called a lottery in English. Gorol echad l'Hashem. 1 lottery goes to Hashem. The gorol echad la'azazel. And the other one goes to Azazel. The modern word for hell in Hebrew is lech la'azazel, they say. They say go to hell, they say lech la'azazel. Very strange. So lottery, the Kohen Gadol sticks his hand in a kalpi. You know what a kalpi is? A little one.
Like a bingo.
A bingo, and he pulls out 1 Lashem and 1 Lazazel. So what happens with those 2? Pasuk Tet, v'hikriv Aaron es hasoyer sh'olav hagorel Lashem b'sol chatas. So Aaron brings the one that said Lashem, that he makes a sin offering. That's sacrificed where? In the Mishkan on the Mizbeach. Pasuk Yud, what about the other one? V'hasoyer sh'olav olav hagorel. See, the word gorel is written a few times, Lazazel. The one that's written that goes for Azazel, Yomat Chai Lifnei Hashem. L'chaper olav, l'shalech oto Lazazel hamidbara. So the one that's chosen for Azazel, what happens to that? That's not killed on the Mizbeach. That is going to be sent away in the Midbar to a place called Azazel. So we don't know what the place is yet. What does it mean? Pasuk Kaf, Mikilo mechaper et hakodesh. The Kohen Gadol makes atonement. V'es oil moed, v'es hamizbeach, v'ikras sorechai. Then he sacrifices the 1 Lashem. What about the other one? Pasuk Chav Aleph, v'samach Aaron eshtei yodov al rosh hasoyer achai. So Aaron puts his hands. Lean on me. He puts his hands on the head of what? Of the living goat. Which one? Which one? The one that's going to Azazel. V'yizvada olav es kol avona b'nei Yisrael. He puts his hand on the living goat, the one that's going to be what? Sent to a scapegoat. V'yizvada olav, and he confesses on the head of this scapegoat as kol avona b'nei Yisrael, all the sins of the Jewish people. V'es kol p'sheim, and all their transgressions. L'chol chatasam. V'nosan otam, and he places them. What does he place, Sonia? The sins, Rivka, it's very bizarre. He places the sins. Is the sin something physical that you can place? But that's what the Torah says. V'notan otam, you should place them. What's them? The sins. Al rosh hasayir, on top of the head of this poor hairy goat. V'shilach biyadish iti hamidbara, and you send it by the hand of the man. What is it, iti? A man that's appointed. Ishiti means an appointed man, hamidbara. Sonia, he was the unsung hero of Yom Kippur. Rose, think about it. The Kohen Gadol, in his magnificent robes, he is doing the whole service in the Beis HaMikdash. Everybody's cheering on. Yeah. This is an unsung hero. Nobody knows his name, Ruvain. You know about him? Yad Ishiti, he's an anonymous, unsung hero who's designated to schlep this hairy goat into the midbar, fasting, not eating. Nobody knows about him. And he does more than the high priest, I think, because the high priest doesn't atone for all the sins. Here it says, V'natan otam al rosh hasayir. He places the sins on the head of the goat, v'shilach, and it's sent away biyad ish iti, by the hand of a man, anonymous, unsung hero, hamidbara. Pasuk of bet, v'nasa soyer olav, and this hairy goat carries on him as kol avanotam, all of their sins, el eretz gezerah. Yehuda, what does eretz gezerah mean? A land that is cut off. V'shilach et asoyer bamidbar, and you send the hairy goat into the desert through the hands of this unsung, unknown hero, Ish Iti, an appointed man. Nobody knows who he is. Unlike the big kahuna, Aaron, everybody, hey, big kahuna, they're all cheering him. This guy is an unsung hero. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to ask a quick question, not about the man.
Go ahead.
I want to ask about, there's a lot of girls being talked about.
Oh, Ruvain, cooking with gas. What's with this goyrol business? Nachamu goyrol and Nachamu goyrol. What is the Torah fixated on the word goyrol? Thank you. Yiddish is goyrol. In Hebrew is goral. You're right, Rivka.
What does goral mean?
Lottery, lotto. Right? Because he sticks his hand in a kalpi and it comes out one lashem, one lazazel. Right? So what's this goyrol business?
I-35.
What?
I-35.
Bingo. Sonia, what's it all about?
Bingo.
Says the Ramban something incredible. This Azazel, we'll see in source number 2, is actually shochad l'satan. It's a bribe to Satan. On the holiest day of the year, we have to bribe Satan. But that's what the Ramban says. Soon we'll see source number 2, where he's coming from. Says the Ramban, in order it shouldn't be Ruvain avodah zarah. We're offering a goat on the holiest day of the year to Satan. Sounds to me like what, Rivka? Avodah zarah. So it shouldn't be avodah zarah. Therefore, God says, do it through a goyral. So the Kohen Gadol is not choosing. Who's choosing? Hashem. God wants us to give his servant, Satan. Satan works for the boss, Aaron. If you think Satan acts independently, that's classic idolatry. Satan works for the boss. He's only a servant of Hashem. So through the goyral, it's not avodah zarah. Yiditz Abraham. Through the goyral, God chooses who goes to Hashem and who goes to the Satan. What's another word for Satan? Azazel. We'll see soon. So therefore, it's not idolatry. HaKadosh Baruch Hu chooses. He wants us to honor his servant on Yom Kippur. Who's God's servant? Mr. Satan. He works for the boss. Okay? So therefore, we have goyral prominently. It should not be avodah zarah. The Kohen, if the Kohen Gadol would do it, it would be classic avodah zarah, chas v'sholem. Do you mind telling the lady to turn on the air conditioner stronger? Thank you. I don't want to fall asleep. It's very hot in here. You ever see a speaker fall asleep in the middle? What? What? There was this all-night learning session on Shavuos night. All my stories are true, but some didn't happen yet. There's an all-night learning session, Rabbi Yaakov, on Shavuos night. So it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and the next speaker is up, and there's one guy sitting in the audience. So the speaker says to the one guy, "Thank you very much for remaining with me." So the guy says, "I have no choice. I'm the next speaker." Dr. Abramson, I'm the next speaker. So Nebuch, he's stuck there. One guy sitting, he's on at 4 a.m. Where was I? The bribe to Satan. Very weird. So in order, it shouldn't be Avodah Zarah, Aaron. Therefore, Goyrel, God is choosing. God wants us to honor Satan on the holiest day of the year. So if God does it, it's not Avodah Zarah, right? But what's it all about? Sounds pretty bizarre to me. So look at source number 2. Pirkei de Rabbi Lezer. Rabbi Lezer HaGadol. Rabbi Kiva's ready. Rabbi Kiva's Rebbe. So source number 2. Omer Samal Lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. See source number, who's Samal? Satan. Satan says to God, Samal is Satan.
Is that Aramaic?
No, it's Hebrew. Sam-el. Satan is a contraction, Ruvain, of Sam-el. What does Sam mean in Hebrew? Potion. Potion. Love, potion, potion.
Potion of God.
Or poison of God, or potion of God. Sam-el. Sam b'ivrit, Avraham. Sam means potion. It could mean good potion. Love potion, number 9, right? Samael, all he is no independent being, Aaron. That's idolatry. He is only a potion of God. That's all he is. He's a tool that God uses. Because only when the going gets tough, do the tough get going. No pain, no gain.
Why does God need him?
We'll see. God doesn't, we need him. Because without the struggle, Rivka, we're stuck in neutral. Without Satan, the struggle, without no pain, no gain. Remember that Pepsi commercial, Aaron? No pain, no gain. If that's true in the physical world, in order to develop our spiritual muscles, we need, Malka, to struggle with the Samael. Otherwise, we get flabby. Oh, you get flabby. No pain, no gain. The struggle makes us great. Omer Samal Lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ribono Kol Olamim. Source number 2. Al Kol Umot Olam Natatel Rishus. You give me permission to manipulate all the nations of the world. Val Yisrael Einat Anoisen Li. And you don't allow me to manipulate the Jewish people. Omer Loi, so God said to him, Harei yesh lach rishus aleim b'yoyim HaKippurim. One day a year, you have permission to what? Work your magic on the Jewish people. Which day is that? Yom HaKippurim. Im yesh lem chet. If the Jewish people have sin on Yom Kippur, then you can wreak havoc on them. Vim lav, but if they have no sin 1 minute early Yom Kippur, ein lecha rishus aleim. You have no right to do anything to them.
Is this the collective sin?
Collectively. This is collectively. We're talking the nation.
What's a collective sin?
We'll talk about it. What? We'll talk about it. But let me just finish. Lefikach noisten lo shoichat b'yoyim HaKippurim. Reuven, isn't that wild? Therefore, God says we should give Satan a shochad on Yom Kippur. What does that mean? A bribe. Shloi levatel es Yisrael shikvet karbanim. You shouldn't start up with the Jews. Shenema gorel echad lashem. One scapegoat, one goat goes to God on the Mizbeach. The gorel echad lazazel, and the other one goes what? To Azazel. Garala shal Kodesh Baruch Hu l'korban olah. So the one for God becomes a burnt offering on the Mizbeach. The Gorol shel Azazel Seir Chatas. That's the goat that carries all the sins. Again, the collective sins. Shirley made a great point. Not the individual sin, the collective sins, because we have a dual relationship with God, as a Yochid and as a Tzibur. Therefore, we have 2 days Rosh Hashanah, even in Pisgat Zev. One day, God judges us as a Yochid, and the other day, He judges us as part of the Tzibur. We have this dual relationship, an individual and also part of Klal Yisrael. So anyway, the Chol and Sept Shesol Olav, all the sins of the Jews are on this scapegoat, the collective sins, the national sins. Shenema v'nosa hasayir olav eskol avonotam. The goat shall carry all of the sins of Eretz Gezerah to a land that's cut off. Ra samal. So Satan saw shalanimtza bem yom kippurim chet. The Jewish people collectively, as a nation, Ruvain, have no sins on Yom Kippur. So Satan says to God, Yeshlach am echad k'malacha hasharet. You have one nation that is what? K'malacha hasharet. So we have this dual role, Aaron, as Shirley raised a great point. Let me explain what's going on over here. Therefore, there's 2 days, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Rosh Hashanah, the 2 days. 1 day for an individual judgment, another day for Klal Yisrael. Says the Meshech Chochmah. What does it mean, Ruvain? Givaldi. Let's say a person comes up short individually. Nebuch, he's not doing the right thing behind closed doors. So God will give him a negative judgment. But the second day, is he a tzibur person? Do people need him? Do people depend on him? So even though he might come up short as an individual behind closed doors, but if he's a chesed person, he does bikecholim and he does hatzalah and he's involved with other people, so he gets judged as part of the tzibur. Even though in his individual life he comes up short, but the second day of Rosh Hashanah, if people depend on him and need him, then God will give him a favorable judgment, not for his sake, but for the people that need him. So it's so important to be a tzibur person, a chesed person. And that will give you a good judgment, even though as an individual, a person might come up short. So therefore, we have 2 days of Rosh Hashanah. So anyway, what's this shochad on Yom Kippurim that God wants that Satan should get this so-called offering, and this way he will not what? Prosecute the Jewish people on what? On Yom Kippurim. So what's it all about? We know that sin is not something tangible or physical that you load on the back of a goat or you push him off the cliff. What's it all about? So if you look at source number 4, the Rambam Moreh Nevuchim discusses this. What's it all about? Source number 4, the Rambam says, "V'da shekol chata she'emin bo yishu mechaper chet gadol o chatoim gedolim k'mo chatas olam nisrafim kula b'chutz lamachne lo al mizbeach." He says that this scapegoat has so much sin on him that you can't burn him on the mizbeach. He will contaminate the mizbeach. So therefore, Elisheva, so long, sucker, you push him over the cliff. You push him over the cliff. So what the Sa'ir, what's the Sa'ir? Where do you find that word Sa'ir? Esav. When Esav was born, he was what? Ishsar. Sa'ir. Esav was a hairy man. Har Seir. Esav was born a hairy man. So the Ramban explains in a different place that the way Rav Soloveitchik explains this, it's not hocus pocus, Rose. It's not voodoo, Chalila. The Jewish people are saying on Yom Kippur, who am I really? Do I belong to Hashem or do I belong chas v'sholom to the Sa'ir? The Esav mentality. The smoke and mirrors. I've been trapped all year. I've been trapped, deceived by the Esav mentality. YouTube, whatever, Google, all that schmutz there. That's this Ish Sa'ir. One day a year, I want to get rid of him, Sonia. So when you push the scapegoat over the cliff, what are you saying? That's not really me. That's the smoke and mirrors of the Esav mentality. I belong to Hashem, but all year long, I'm fachadet. How do you say fachadet? Mixed up. I'm all mixed up. One day a year, I define I belong to Hashem. I want to unburden myself and free myself from the hairy one. Esav is the hairy one. When he was born, he was very hairy. That's a symbol of what? Of materialism and lust. Do you hear that? So it's not voodoo, Elisheva, not voodoo at all. It's to get rid of the Esav inside of me. That's not really me. He just works on me. But one day a year, I want to unburden myself and come close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, who I really am, and to free myself from the hairy one, the Esav mentality represented by what? By the hairy goat of Azazel. So Azazel is Satan. It's the Esav mentality that what? That fools us, deceives us all year. One day a year, I stand up, Elisheva, and say, who am I? Who am I? Yom Kippur is R&R for the soul. R&R for the soul. I'm a soul man. One day a year. You hear it, Shirley? You with me on this? Go ahead. Now. Yes?
Is that like what they do now with the chicken? And is that
What?
No, it's the kapara.
That's a kapara.
Rabbi,
It comes from this. Rose, very good. That's an outgrowth of this business.
what? Yes.
It's a make-believe scapegoat.
Now,
It's easier than with a goat. Try to swing a goat over your head. Not going to work, honey. Easier with a chicken. But that's the idea.
Shirley wants to ask something.
Go ahead.
That in Yerushalayim,
Avram, thank you. We're just warming up here. Go ahead.
that in
What?
Yerushalayim, you have this movie now open on Shabbos. Is that a?
That's a collective sin. Yes, yes. That's good, right? That's a collective sin. Shabbos desecration by a movie house or a theater, that's a public desecration, but that's not really me. That's the ace of smoke and mirrors. That's not really me. But let's get more into it. There's ayin panim la Torah. There's another interpretation of what the scapegoat is and what the word Azazel means. If you look at the top of the page in my handwriting, Azazel, you see that it says Azazel. First it says Azazel shemechaper al uza v'azoel. Gemara Yuma, page 67, that the Azazel atones for the sin of these two beings that are called Uzzah and Azael. Uzzah and Azael, contraction Avram is what? Azazel. Who is Uzzah v'Azael? Gemara Yuma 67, Ruvain, who? Beautiful. Rashi says, you see in the left column of my handwriting, Shnei Malache Chabala, two terrorist angels, Sheyardu La'aretz, they descended to the earth in the days of what? Of Noach. Shenemar, Vayiru B'nei Elohim Benot Adam. The children of God saw the daughters of man, and they went wild, couldn't control their passion. So Azazel is mechaper al gili arayot. Therefore, Yom Kippur afternoon, what do you read? What do you read, Rav Avraham? Arayot, bizarre. Because most of the sins that we commit have to do with what? Sexual sins. Freud said it. Most sins come from the sexual drive. And the Talmud knew it before Sigmund Freud. Before Sigmund Freud, Rabbi Yaakov, Azazel mechaper al arayot. And therefore we read on Yom Kippur afternoon the Parshat Gilead Ayot, because that's the granddaddy of all sin. It's a sexual urge repressed. So
it wasn't girls going wild, it was angels going wild.
Uzav Azoel, Shnei Malachei Chabala, 2 angels of terror that descended to the earth in the days of what? Noach. And it says in Genesis 6, Vayiru b'nei Elohim, the children of God saw. The children of God is what a metaphor for Malachim, B'nois Adam, and they couldn't control themselves. And the Zohar says in Bereshis Vav, Hanafilim ba'aretz, the fallen ones were on the earth in the days of Noah. Who are the fallen ones? Like Reuven said, Uzav Azoel, these are these angels, Sheyardu, that they descended to the earth. They're fallen angels. And they couldn't control their passions, and they led mankind into sexual immorality. So therefore, Azazel rose, is named after these 2 guys, these 2 beings who became human. Angels, I'll clip your wings. Oh.
How did the angels fall? What happened that they fell and became human?
Very good. Very good. How can angels fall? And what is it? I'll clip your wings.
Once the wings are clipped, suddenly they're human.
They became human. They couldn't control their passions. And therefore, we bring this Azazel, Reuven. It's not my fault. It's the Azazel people. They misled me to sexual immorality. Wow. I'm pushing it over the cliff. So long, sucker. That's not really me. It's the Azazel factor. Isn't that incredible, Aaron? What are we playing games with God?
No, it's not.
What's it all about over here? Connie, please hear me well. Yes.
What do we do today instead of the Seir Mazot?
Oh, so Rose said the chicken.
Oh, I don't do a chicken. You give money.
You give money. You give money. But what's it, right? You give money. Some use a fish. The poor chicken. It's all symbolic. What's it all about? Fallen angels. What's the message here? And it's Malamed Zchus for us on Yom Kippurim. We ain't got no temple. We ain't got no Mizbeach. What is the message? Avra Berkowitz, all of us are fallen angels. All of us are godly souls that fell, that come down here. Before we were born, what were we?
Angels.
And when we die, we go back to being angels. Who are the fallen angels? Me and you and me. It's the godly soul that descends into a human body. And we don't want to come down here. We're surrounded by so much temptation and urges.
So we could go into the...
So this is an excuse, so to speak. God, that's not really me. I'm a godly soul. I'm a soul, man. One day on Yom Kippur, I stand up and say, I am a godly soul.
Amen.
It's the body that is leading me astray. It's the influence of the Esav mentality, the smoke and mirrors of Google and the TV, MTV and all that nonsense. But that's not me, the Hollywood smoke and mirrors. That's my spacesuit. My bodysuit? Now you remember, Aaron, you were not born yet, but I remember July 1969, Neil Armstrong on the moon. I remember that. One small step for man. I remember that. Now, you couldn't fool me as a teenager. I knew that funny-looking spacesuit was not Neil Armstrong. Did you think that was Neil Armstrong hopping around in that funny-looking spacesuit? You couldn't fool me. I know that Neil Armstrong was what? Inside. You couldn't fool me. Don't confuse me with my spacesuit. We are all like Neil Armstrong on Earth, but we're wearing a spacesuit. What's the spacesuit? The body. One day a year, I proclaim, I'm a soul man. Don't confuse me with my spacesuit. That's not me. That's what I wear to maneuver, like Neil Armstrong wore on the moon. So all the sin that the body is misled, and most of them are sexual sins, that's due to the body, to the smoke and mirrors of the Esav mentality, but that's not really me. I'm really a fallen angel. I'm a godly soul. And when I leave my spacesuit, I go back to being an angel. Wow. Who am I? One day a year, Avraham, I stand up and say, I'm a godly soul. I'm an angel. But Nebuch, I'm put down here. But that's not me sinning. Sonia, that's my spacesuit. That's the message of the Azazel. All of us are the fallen godly souls. It's not voodoo, Connie. No, we make a statement. Who I am. Who am I? I'm not my spacesuit. I'm a godly soul that's never fallen, right? But that's not really me. So one day a year, I want to, Avram what? Stand up and say, I'm a godly soul. And the Azazel and all of that shtuyot, that's not really me. That's something outside of me. That's an external force that influences my spacesuit, but that's not who I really am. So that's another interpretation of what? Of Uzav Azazel. Most of the sins that we do come from what? Sexual passion. Before Sigmund Freud said it, the Talmud says it over here. But there's another interpretation, it's endless, of what the Azazel is, Avam. You have a sheet? According to the Zohar, the Azazel is actually a kapara for what?
You in 7?
I am, yes, oh, you read. Is a kapara for the sin of the sale of Joseph. Rose, it's endless. Oh. There's no end. 1 minute. Source number 7. Let's do some text analysis, please. Source number 7. You with me or against me?
Wow.
This is from the Zohar. I'm over 40. We can talk. Can we talk? I'm over 40. Source number 7. Rabbi Avram, you have it? In Parshas Vayeshev it says, Vayishchatu b'nei Yaakov sir izim, to cover up their crime. What did Jacob's son do? They shechted a hairy goat. The same words you have in source number 1. Sir izim, same words. They slaughtered a hairy goat and they dipped the blood, the Joseph's coat in badamo, right? Vayishalchu ktonet pasim el aviyam, and they sent the bloody coat to their father. So you have the word vayishalchu. In source number 1, what word is repeated over and over again besides Goral? Look at Pasuk Yud in source number 1. Reuven, you have it? L'shalach lazazel, the word shalach, send away. Send away, right? Look at Pasuk Chav Aleph in source number 1. V'shilach biyad ishiti, again, send away. Source number 1, Pasuk Chav Bet, what did it say again? V'shilach et asayir b'midbar. So the Zohar says, look at these code words. By Joseph, to cover up their despicable crime, they slaughtered a hairy goat, and they sent the bloody coat. So therefore, we send a hairy goat to the midbar, and we also, the word l'shalach, l'shilach, to send. Look at source number 7 now. You with me, Avram? Parshas Vayeshev, Yishchatu b'nei Yaakov sirizim, Jacob's son slaughtered a hairy goat, Yitbelos katzaynes Yosef badomoy, and they dipped Joseph's coat in the blood. Rashi says because goat's blood resembles what? Human blood. In those days there was no DNA. So to fool their father, they dipped Joseph's coat that he got torn up by a wild animal in goat's blood. No, number 7, Pasuk Chav Gimel. You have it? L'chein. What's the next word? 7 Chav Gimel. Noad b'ker b'nei Yisrael lit abel b'yoyim asri l'chodesh hashvi Therefore, the Jewish people have to what? Lit abel, to mourn on the 10th day of the 7th month. Levakesh kapara, to beg God. Surely this is a communal sin, not an individual sin. The nation of Israel, at its inception, committed this gross crime of kidnapping their brother. So this is a stain on Klal Yisrael, not on me individually, the nation of Israel. So you have this Sayel Azazel that somehow is a kapara for this stain. Levakesh kapara, from source number 7, Chavdalid, Levakesh kapara, Visir Izim, also with a hairy goat, Ba'asal HaChodesh Hashvi, once a year, Al Chatasam. Who was the original scapegoat, Elisheva? Brother Joe. Yosef HaTzadik was the scapegoat. Didn't they put all of their guilt on him and they wanted to get rid of him? So what do, Sonia? So we substitute a scapegoat for Brother Joseph, our scapegoat. Now, the Zohar says, why do you remove your shoes on Yom Kippur? When did they sell Brother Joe? The pick of Lezer said it was Yom Kippur. And what did they do with the money? They bought leather shoes. So therefore we take our shoes off on Yom Kippur. It's a tikkun and a kapara for the sale of Joseph, which was Yom Kippur, and they bought leather shoes. So therefore, Aaron, we have to what? Remove our leather shoes on Yom Kippur. So Yosef was the scapegoat. This is a stain on the Klal Yisrael, not an individual. Remember, we have this dual role, Yehuda, as a Yochid and as a Tzibur. So the scapegoat atones for the Tzibur, this collective crime that the Jewish people committed when they sold Yosef HaTzadik. Wow. And the sale took place when? On Yom Kippur. But I'm confused, Rivka. The Zohar says, therefore, we're supposed to mourn on Yom Kippur. It says L'tabel. I underlined it. Wait a minute, Avram. The Mishnah in Sept Tanya says the happiest day on the Jewish calendar was when? Yom Kippur. Seems to contradict the Zohar. Make up your mind, Malka. Is Yom Kippur? Happy days are here again. The Mishnah Masechta Tanya says the happiest day always. The happiest day on the Jewish calendar, Ruvain, the Mishnah in Tanit. Yom Kippur.
Was that in the time of the Second Temple?
That was the time of Israel, throughout the temple time. First, second, third. The happiest day of the Jewish calendar was what? So how could the Zohar say L'tabel? No. So what? Am I supposed to mourn? Am I supposed to be happy? I'm all mixed up.
No pain, no gain.
You're confusing me, Aaron. Fasten your seatbelt. Would you answer the question? Why not?
Why not what?
Why don't you answer a question with a question?
Why are we happy?
Isn't it weird, Aaron, that we celebrate the happiest day on the Jewish calendar, Yom Kippur, exactly the same way that we celebrate the most sorrowful day? Tisha B'Av is the saddest day in the Jewish calendar, and Yom Kippur is what? And isn't it bizarre that we celebrate it exactly the same way? Not only fasting, no smearing, no makeup, no lovey-dovey, no washing, no spritzing, the exact same way. So isn't that the black fast and the white fast is the exact same way?
Wow.
Why? To answer this question, I'm going to ask another one. How do you celebrate great joy? Tears. And Nebuch, great sorrow? Tears. Why? Why do we celebrate sorrow and joy exactly the same way? Isn't that weird? To teach what, Ruvain?
Two sides of the same coin.
Beautiful.
It's like-
It's all one.
What?
It's all one.
It's like
Surely.
love and hate. It's the same
God-
emotion.
God didn't have to be parsimonious. He could have given us different emotions to express what? Joy and sorrow. Why do we express it the identical same way, Sonia? Why? What's the message? It's all one.
Maybe
It all comes from Hashem. It's two sides, like Reuben said, of the same coin. So therefore, Yom Kippur, in a way, is the happiest day on the Jewish calendar. But in another way, it's the saddest day for the Bechirat Yosef. It seems to be, Rivka, what? A contradiction. But the human mind, Rabbi Yaakov, is so complex. Who knows what lurks in the hearts of man? Shadow knows. The human mind is so complex that a person can experience great joy and great sorrow simultaneously.
Wow.
And I'll prove it to you. Here you have Yom Kippur. And one day it's a great happy day. Our sins are forgiven. Another day it's a sorrowful day. We have this collective guilt on our shoulders that we sold a brother down the road. We're still haunted by that sinat chinam. The Zohar says, Yehuda Lev, we're still haunted by, collectively, we're still haunted by that. So the scapegoat somehow removes that collective guilt. That's not really me. I made a terrible mistake. I wasn't there. I'm part of the nation of Israel. Please forgive me. There's a strange halacha, Avram. Strange halacha. Codified in the Rambam, Hilchot Brachot. Children lost a beloved parent. The beloved parent died. And the children loved the parent very much. But the parent died and left them $1 million. 1 minute.
That doesn't help.
1 minute. Please hear me well, Abraham. And the children loved the beloved parents. They cried bitter tears. But now each one got $1 million from the Yerusha. They make 2 brachas. One bracha is dayan emet. They lost a beloved parent. But bizarre as it sounds, they make a shechiyanu.
On the million?
On the $1 million. Are they being hypocritical? No. Halacha lives in the real world, Sonia. The human mind is so complex, Shoshana, that yes, on one level, the children are suffering terribly. They lost a beloved parent, and their heart mourns and aches, so they acknowledge that with a dayan emet. But on another level, David, they have $1 million in the bank, which they didn't have yesterday. Now they can come to the Ashby Shiva. They can quit their job and come study Torah. So, on another level, they're what? They're what? Happy. Halacha says, acknowledge that. You're not being hypocritical at all. That's how God made the human mind. This is the paradox of human existence. And we acknowledge that by 2 separate brachas, Avram. Dayan emes layaleinu, and on the other hand, hatov v'hameitiv v'shechiyanu. Yiddish Malka? Pretty, right? But this is,
But there's 2
that's life.
notice.
That's life.
Other things to take note.
Right? That's
Number
life.
one, that the refuah comes before the mother.
Okay.
Hashem took care of them by giving them $1 million.
Okay. So they have to acknowledge that
And to acknowledge
they didn't have it yesterday.
from Hashem. And the
It doesn't take away the grief of the parent. No, it doesn't.
didn't say that it did.
No.
Oh, there was something.
No, it doesn't. No. A human being has, what's the word, David? Thank you.
Compartmentalized.
Otherwise, we couldn't go on, Connie.
Amen.
If God didn't give us that ability, we couldn't go on. That's the message here of what?
I know what the other is.
Of the Azazel. What? Yes?
That Hashem has his checks and balances.
Don't we have a similar situation with the birth of the state of Israel so soon after the Shoah?
Unbelievable. You heard what the lady said? Make it even better. You have Yom HaZikaron, when we remember the fallen soldiers, and that very night celebrate. Is it being hypocritical? No, Aaron. Yom HaZikaron, the saddest day of the Hebrew calendar for the state of Israel, we mourn our beloved Chayalim, and that very night, the mourning becomes what? Joy. That's what life is all about.
So true.
That's life. Riding high in April, shot down in May.
Many at Sept and Simchas Torah.
Oh, and Yizkor. Beautiful. Yaakov Goldman just raised a great point. Shmini Atzeret, Simchat Torah, the height of joy. What do? We say Yizkor.
Wow.
Avram, it's a downer. Yizkor, you start to bawl, remember the beloved parents, on Simchas Torah. Why? Because that's life.
It's not
The sweet and the bitter are always what, David? Mixed.
They don't mix it in
That's
America.
it.
But Schmutzlords, but in Eretz Yisrael, we do it together. Right? That's life. And therefore, on the happiest day of your life at a wedding, you break a glass. You smash a glass. Why? Why does the chassan smash a glass under the chuppah? Because that's the last time he'll be able to put his foot down. Right? The happiest day, you smash a glass. Said Rav Soloveitchik, why do you do that? Everybody knows the reason of what? The Chorban.
The temple is not built.
But Rav Soloveitchik says, what's another reason?
What?
You sitting down?
Yes.
You're under the chuppah. Starry, starry night. You're some enchanted evening. You're under the chuppah. You're lovey-dovey. Right? Madly in love with each other. Says Rav Soloveitchik, the happiest day, you have to remember, it's not always going to be like that. There'll be broken dishes. Ooh. There'll be broken dishes. You're starry out now, lovey-dovey. Smash that glass. It's not always going to be like that.
Wow.
The great Rav Soloveitchik. It can't be like that, because men are from Venus and women are from Mars, or vice versa. So from the get-go, Aaron, the height of joy under the chuppah, you have to smash a glass,
The Torah is real.
because the halacha lives in the real world. It's not always going to be lovey-dovey. There will be broken glasses. So what? When you love each other, you accent the positive despite the negative. You got to take the good with the bad.
And nothing is
That's the way he set up the system. Yizkor on Shmini Atzeres. The Mishnah says Yom Kippur is the happiest day, and the Zohar said it's also a day to mourn our collective guilt. And it doesn't what, Avram Berkowitz, it doesn't what? Contradict. That's the human mind. So complex. Yizkor, but Yizkor on Simchas Torah. It puts a damper on things? Not really. Not really. It reminds us that we are only here in a bodysuit, but we go back to where we came from with our beloved parents. With our beloved parents. We go back to being angels. We're all fallen angels for 90, 100 years. And then we go back to being angels.
Wow.
It's a reality check. Who said that? Yom Kippur is a reality check. It's R&R for the soul.
Wow.
It's a day to stand up and R&R. Rest and recreation for the soul.
I'm glad I came today, Rabbi.
The Rambam is so meduyak. Please hear me well. The Rambam says there's a mitzvah asay lishbot ma'achila v'shtia. Lishbot, what does lishbot mean? To rest. Lishbot means to rest. The Rambam should say there's a positive mitzvah on Yom Kippur to fast. He doesn't say that, Aaron. He says mitzvah asay lishbot ma'achila v'shtia. There's a positive mitzvah to what? To rest from eating and drinking. What does that mean?
That's a good idea.
It's rest for the soul. Eating and drinking gets in the way. The soul couldn't care less about macaroni and cheese. That's the spacesuit. But that's not really me. One day a year I proclaim who I am. A godly soul couldn't care less about eating or drinking or bathing or spritzing. Or sex. Godly soul, right.
Or makeup.
That's the bodysuit. One day a year I proclaim, David, I'm a soul man. That's Yom Kippur. So the Rambam says a mitzvah say to rest from eating and drinking. Give it a rest. And from the other bodily functions. The great Kotzker Rebbe said as follows. Oh, hear me well. There really are no fast days on the Jewish calendar. He says on Tisha, I'll say it in Yiddish and I'll translate. On Tisha B'Av, wer can essen? In Yom Kippur, wer darf essen? Isn't that beautiful? On Tisha B'Av, who can eat? I'm so depressed. Chorban Beis Hamikdash. Who can even think about food? I'm depressed. Yom Kippur, I'm soaring. I'm reconnecting with the source. Who needs to eat? I'm having an out-of-body experience. On Yom Kippur, we're having an out-of-body experience. Who needs to eat? That's kid stuff. That's good for the spacesuit. But Yom Kippur, I get to soar. I'm having 26 hours of Yaakov, an out-of-body experience. Who needs to eat? Isn't that wonderful? So Rambam says, not fast, give it a rest. The holy Rambam, Arvam, Hilchas Yom Kippurim, give it a rest. And therefore it says, V'initem et nafshotechem, you shall afflict your soul. But the soul is not being afflicted. The body is being afflicted. Hello?
Wow.
It's not a typo. The Ramchal asked this question. Ruvain, I want to see. Ruvain, the Ramchal. It should be nitem et haguf. The soul couldn't care less about sex, macaroni and cheese, and spritzing. It should say v'nitem et haguf. It says v'nitem et nafshotechem. Says the Ramchal, the word v'anita also means to sing. Look in Devarim 26. When Farmer Schwartz brought his Bikurim, it says v'anita, he has to sing the praises of Pisgat Zev. Of Rechavia. Says the Ramchal, please, the word v'anitem means afflict, but it also means to sing. Ay, 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 ay. Dam, dam. Deuteronomy 26, v'anita. V'anitem es nafshotechem is not a typo. The neshama sings on Yom Kippur. The neshama, v'anitem es nafshotechem means your soul shall sing.
Wow.
One day a year she gets to shine. She sings. V'anitem es nafshotechem literally means your soul shall sing. But now we have a problem, Rabbi Ruvain. In Hebrew, how could one word have two opposite meanings? V'anitem means to afflict, and it also means what? To sing. Isn't it strange that one Hebrew word has what?
Double meaning.
But as I was
Says the Ramchal, I say fasten your seatbelts, but he says, when the guf is afflicted, the neshama sings. When the spacesuit, when the guf is afflicted, the neshama sings. Because she's getting her kapara. When the guf is afflicted by fasting and no bathing and no spritzing, the guf is afflicted, but the neshama is singing. The same word has a double meaning. Why is she singing?
She's free.
She's being cleansed.
Wow.
That's the bleach that is cleansing her, letting her reconnect with her source. Who's the source? Hashem. So therefore in Hebrew, the inita means to afflict, it also means to sing. When the body is afflicted, the neshama is singing. V'nitem es nafshotechem literally means, says Ramchal, the neshama sings on Yom Kippur.
Good, Rabbi.
She gets to shine. We all shine on one day a year. So let's take the bull by the horns this Yom Kippur. Let's rejuvenate.
Yes.
Rejuvenate. And proclaim that I'm a soul man. Any questions, comments?
I have comments.
Bakasha, Malka.
I just learned.
We come back Sunday after Sukkot.
October 11th.
October 11th, Sunday after Sukkot.
I just learned that Yom Kippur is not called its songs. It's called
Initem singing. At least both. The Rambam says it's a day of rest and relaxation. For the what? For the neshama. Thank you very much.